Hey guys, it's me again. Today I am going to be taking a look, doing a build and a review of an atomizer I've already done a video about. It was one of the first videos I ever did, and it wasn't the best quality. The camera quality was crap. The build quality on my part was pretty trash. I didn't use cotton, I used eco wool, and my coils were not the best coils. I was still pretty new to dripping, building drippers at least, so I wasn't as good then as I am now at it. So what I am actually doing today is the Patriot V1 by Innovape. Yes, I understand there's a V1.2, V2, V2.5. Don't have those. I have this. I have the V1, which I did a video and I said in a previous update that now that I have the new camera that I would go back through and do all the old builds that I had done with the new camera now. And the Patriot is actually still a very solid RDA. So before we get started, have a vape real quick before I get started. What I'm vaping on right now is some Gotti, which is a vanilla custard by Mountain Oak Vapors. It's their creme de la creme line. And that's some good stuff. So let's get down into it. Alright, you got your standard 3-post design. And this center post has been cooked. This is not my RDA, this is my brother's. But I will be doing a build as best I can on this one. So had a little bit of water in it. I had washed it out and done my best to get it all clean for the video. Let's see if I can get zoomed in a little bit more. Alright. So what I'm going to do, I wrapped my coils just around a simple drill bit, and I'm going to place it back on the bit, and then make sure I get the screws unscrewed. I apologize, I am doing this backwards. So I am going to try to pull it through and get these coils as close to the post as I can. Now the thing with these old drippers is you got to be really careful not to over tighten your post screws, because it will cut the leads and cause a bad connection. So now we're just going to repeat the process on this side. I understand my leads are pretty long. I just didn't bother with cleaning them up. Alright. It's a little bit of a pain when you're working with what I've got. There we go. Now I can straighten it out and pull them tight. I am so sorry. I was off camera. Alright, let's check the distance. And then gonna keep it in place. And once I start feeling a good bit of tension, that's when I stop. Pull these coils tight. And now I'm going to snip the leads. Okay, I don't know if I'll be able to get this to translate on camera, but this coil will move. Alright. See it wiggling over here? That means my center post isn't tightened enough. So I'll give it just a little bit more, and that's good. There we go. Want to be careful when you're cutting these. They will fly off if you're not careful. Also, you want to make sure that you don't accidentally cut. You want to make sure you don't accidentally cut that lead when you're cutting that one. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to even out these coils, make sure they're nice and level. Make sure they're about the same height. So now I'm going to take it off and put it on my ohm reader. Check the resistance. 6 rap. I'm guessing somewhere close to 0.3. close, maybe 0.28. .32. So that's a little bit higher than I normally like it. I probably could have done a wrap less on each side, but I was wanting to play it safe. I am using this on my Fat Snow Wolf. Currently it's the it's the only mod I have with a 510 connection. Okay. There we go. Now I am using some combat cotton, and it normally comes pretty much just like this in a big can. So I have found that it wicks just fine. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to clean it up, and I guess I'll use some of this yummy nectar. I'm in the mood for something not dessert flavored. So you want to be careful. And there we go. Nice and easy. Gonna do the same to the other side. Now this doesn't have a very big drip well at all. You're not going to be able to fit a whole lot of cotton up in there. That's about all you're going to get. So now I'm just going to make sure it gets down in there. Make sure it keeps it nice and loose so the juice can flow. And then make sure that you got space underneath the coil for air to flow. Get it good and saturated. Even with a 0.3, this will still give you a pretty harsh hit if you get it dry. I mean, any dripper will do it, but some of my worst dry hits were off my old Patriot. Alright, so I'm going to once over it. Make sure I have space underneath this coil. So that's putting out a decent amount of vapor for 0.3. And it should produce really well because the air holes on this Patriot have been drilled out. So just gonna line up the air holes with the coils, and I doubt you'll be able to see it in there, but it's lined up. It's, even with the air holes drilled out, it's still a tighter draw than what I'm used to. It's a very flavorful vape, more flavorful than I remember it being. But I mean, it's a solid dripper, you know. Now, when it came out, the only bad thing I had to say about it was the drip well. It is almost non-existent. But now, you know, a year and a half, almost 2 years since it came out, we have drippers with seriously deep drip wells with dual hole center posts, you know, the center block. We've gotten kind of spoiled and jaded. This is back in the day when you had to, you know, really, I mean, you had 3 posts and you had to do what you could to get it to fit. but it still puts out. It'll put out with the best of them. Would I buy the Patriot again? Probably not. There are, I hate to say it, a lot better drippers out there than this. If anything, I'd buy the Patriot 2.5. But the Patriot V1, you know, if I got it at a good price, yeah. And only authentic. I wouldn't buy one of the clones. Just not worth the money to me. Having worked at a couple of vape stores and done coil builds for a lot of people, and I did a lot of Patriot clones, and I have to say, even the best of the clones still didn't compare to the authentic in quality, you know, so you can't complain. It's a damn good dripper, and I have to say, one of the easiest I have ever had. So that's my opinion. It's made out of stainless steel, made here in the United States. That's about all the information I could get on it. I believe they still have some for sale. So if you still want one and are a fan of the version 1, I believe you can still get a hold of it. And yeah, go ahead and pick one up. You will need to drill the air holes out though, and the post holes are not big enough for you to do any really crazy or cool builds on. I think the biggest wire you'll be able to get through is a 24 gauge, and you'll have a hard time with that. So my previous Patriot, I had to drill out the center post so I could do 22 gauge. And but back then that was, you know, it's not what it was meant for. It was meant for a 0.5 ohm coil, putting out a decent amount of vape, but giving you a lot of flavor. Back then, that's what it was about. So, but you can get a cloud off of it. And that little bit of cotton that you saw that I had in there is still good. You know, 0.3 ohm. I don't have to drip it that often. I'll go ahead and drip it since I got the top cap off. But, you know, you could hit it plenty of times before you have to drip it again. And even more so if it had a bigger drip well. But it is what it is. That's my opinion on it. I like it. It's a good dripper. It was the first authentic dripper I ever purchased. Let's see, I'll scoot back. It'll put out a decent cloud, and I believe these are 3/32 air holes. So that's the Patriot. It's a very good atomizer. pretty much every 510 drip tip I have will fit. Never had any issues with that. The inside, the top cap, no special design about it. You know, it came out before all the conical and dome shapes. It was your basic run-of-the-mill American-made dripper. So that's all I have to say about it. We'll take one more hit off of it and then we'll call it done. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, hit the like button. I have some more good ones coming out pretty soon. Wasn't able to get a hold of the turbo this weekend, so I'll get a hold of it this coming up weekend and I'll do a build on that the following week. But I do have a few more builds coming up this week. So thanks for watching and I'll see you next time.